Welcome to the Mad Lucrative Podcast. I am the host, the one and only Magneto 7 in the building. Along with my technical difficulties, right? But today we got a special guest. I haven't had any principals. I've had a few leaders. I'll say that. I had a few leaders in this space on the pod, but the first time I've had a principal by the name of, not only principal, I ain't gonna just go there. We're gonna say principal, author. We're gonna go to motivational speaker. We're gonna go to life changing. We're gonna go to coach of all types, Mr. Gerard Smith. No, not Mr. Dr. Gerard Smith. Mills. But anyway, how you doing this morning, man?
I can't complain, man. Gemar. Yeah.
Gemar Mills. So I gotta tell y'all this because I rarely start the pod in a frantic mode. Today started crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all that first, right? Today started like 5:30 this morning, but it started yesterday 5:30 in the morning, ended at 1 o'clock this morning, started again 5:30 this morning. So just catch up to where we at. I gotta bring the good energy. But first off, again, you feeling good? How you feeling? I see you in your office.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, the work got to get done. So that concept of getting up at 5 and going to 1 a.m., like I understand that all too well. And sometimes like the brain just ain't firing the way it's supposed to fire because like, you know, you running on empty, probably ain't grabbing to eat nothing. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It's Saturday, like in the office, getting some work done and then gonna go out and enjoy the day. You know, got my son with me today. We here getting him some tutoring at one of the campuses that I founded. So everything is everything, man.
Hold up. Now he said one of the campuses. We gonna dig on that. We ain't gonna bypass that. So let's go to the beginning. I like to introduce all my guests to the listening audience. Where did this start?
Yep.
As far as childhood, we'll go there. Childhood. Where you from? Where did it start? Family life, all that stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm so Patterson, New Jersey. For those of you that in the music industry, I'm sure you know Patterson, Fetty Wap, Shark, Fetty Wap.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he put us on the map in that regard. In entertainment. So it started there. I grew up in the projects, humble, super humble beginnings. Like my mother had me when she was 16, pregnant, she was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Had my sister when she was 17. So we coming up rough, like nothing, no anything, nobody graduating from college. There's no money, there's nothing. We like figuring it out. And so just like into the traditional public school system, and kept pushing and going, found my way into sports. I had a real good run in sports. Sports really kind of like turned me on. It turned on that switch of just like intrinsic motivation to like keep pushing and drive. And I developed that same skill in the classroom. Okay. And so a lot of stuff just came simple. Like, you know, you want to do algebra? I can follow these steps. That's kind of what it boiled down to.
Okay.
So end up getting out of high school, got some money to go to college, play some sports. Okay. Again, we poor, so we were so poor that the college gave me money to go. Straight up. I'm not exaggerating. They was like, listen, we have to give you so much money, we're gonna cut you a check every 4 months because they overpaid for you.
Wow.
No, that's no cap. Straight up, that's just like
that's dope though.
Yeah, so actually that's how I was paid for my books, right? That's how I was like also getting fly. So when leather coats, the Wissam jackets at the time was in, I was able to get a rapper jacket and all that. So people were like, what is he doing? I'm like, we just poor and I got some extra money. So that's what I'm doing with it. So I majored in math.
Okay.
In college, graduated, vowed that I was never going back. Started teaching math in Newark actually. And
I've been in Newark.
Yes, well then you know.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's things that are happening in that city that are great, and then there are things that are concerning, right? Like the citizens sometimes just not in tune with the movement, and they got to do what they got to do because people got to make money and mouths got to get fed. So, but it isn't the easiest place to grow up or be a part of, right? Like definitely, I would say I've worked with 8 different cities, man, across the country, 50 different schools. And I will say, like, Newark has some of the most aware young people. So like they don't function out of like you tell me what to do.
Okay.
They function from a place of like I respect you, you respect me. I'm 15, but I'm equally as a man as you because I've been doing this. Like I'm feeding my family.
And they do
That's
that in high school.
that's high school. That's the kind of interactions I would have. Like these young men and young women are really like figuring their own things out. That's a real thing. So, but yeah, man, I got it there. I majored in math. I'm teaching now,
Okay.
and I decided I'm going back to get my master's in education.
Okay.
I did an accelerated program, got it in 10 months, and I actually get a chairperson job. So now I'm a math chairperson, 25, and the youngest chairperson in the state of New Jersey.
Wow.
So now I'm an administrator and I'm helping people 50 years old, and I've only got 3 years of teaching experience. So, you already know, like,
look, I did a pod talking to another colleague of mine that does flips remodels, and I was telling him how I had that same type of deal when I got my Grammy, right?
Yeah.
I was around all of the 50-year-olds. It was like, well, yeah, I ain't getting nothing till, I still ain't got one. In those type conversations. And I'm I think I was 28, 29, and I got my Grammy. And it's like, well, it just, yeah, I know where you coming from.
Yeah, so all the questions like, well, how you get here? Who you know? Not that you got skills,
right? Who you rub elbows with
exactly
to get in? Yeah,
exactly. So I did that for 2 years, man, and then like things started to go really fast. So I did the chairperson piece for 2 years and got promoted to vice principal. And then 1 year into the vice principalship, I'm at the worst school in New Jersey, bottom 15% in the country, and that's Shabazz High School. And I get an opportunity to be the principal. Not because I wanted to be, actually. I was like good what I was doing. But the students, man, the alumni, a lot of people was pushing me for me to take the job, and I'm 27. I'm like, yeah, probably not. But I remember, man, this one situation, there was I'm in the auditorium and I'm a vice principal handling principal duties. And a kid said, who are principal? And I'm like, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna handle this until they get it.
Okay.
Kids say, why can't you be our principal? I said, listen, man, because I'm not gonna tolerate none of the stuff y'all got going on. None of it. I'm just not doing it. And the kid stood up and said, that's what we need, man.
The kids did that.
The kid did that. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a shot. All of my mentors said, you crazy. Like, this worst school, ain't no way you can fix it. They need to blow it up. That's like what I'm hearing from adults.
So they looking at it like lean on me.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay. Joe Clark.
The newspaper quote, when you Google this, they comparing this to Baghdad. They're saying like it's shootings on the campus, right? Like it's not safe for kids to be in there. They pulling the fire alarm every day to go outside and basically fight. You got adults coming on the campus, shootings on like it's a documentary for anybody's listening called Saving Shabazz. So you can verify all of this stuff. It won the Emmy Award. So yeah,
Saving Shabazz.
Saving Shabazz.
All right, I gotta watch that. Okay.
And you'll see the kids tell you the story I'm telling you. So they was living it. So yeah, man. So I ended up getting a principal job. 1 year we did some real good work. We doubled the math test scores, we doubled the literacy test scores. And that's when everybody wanted to know what happened because 150 years of work, nobody could do it. And so it happened. It wasn't just me. It was a team of folks. The kids met the challenge. Like they were cheering me on. I'm a kid in the space, essentially, So that work right there brought CNN in the door. It brought, all the news cameras in the door, NBC and all these people. And this is like what really catapulted me into this like stratosphere of just like, yo, people need to see what this guy is doing.
Right.
And then 4 years into that, I did a partnership with a nonprofit.
Okay.
Called the Future Project. The that got me traveling across the country and rubbing elbows with the richest, wealthiest people in the world, in the country, right? Like
Dope.
Mark Zuckerberg and
Wow.
Frank McCourt. He owns McCourt Global. He used to own the Dodgers.
Okay.
Jim Parsons, they own the venture capitalist fund. Um, all these kinds of folks, man. Ray Dalio, I know you're familiar with him. He owns a hedge fund. He's one of the wealthiest men in the world. And so doing that stuff, meeting with Lorraine Powell Jobs, you know, Steve Jobs' widow, we really got into the thick of like, what does it look like to transform education? And so, boom, man, I transitioned out of the principalship. People don't know this, but when I was 33, I retired from public education, closed my pension out. I did the whole deal.
At
And
33.
shut it down. And I
Wow.
started, and so that's how the whole the charter school, founding your own schools came about, man.
Okay.
I met my partner, Mike Piskel. He had already had a charter school open in Plainfield. We was doing some work together. And then we co-founded some schools in Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay.
So we're servicing, 6 years later, we're servicing 1,300 kids, man.
Wow.
Yeah, in Paterson. And then we got schools in Asbury Park as well, which is another part of New Jersey. So
Yo.
we in 9 campuses right now.
Hold on, bro. Nah,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna bypass that.
All right. I'm just trying to give you the story, you know?
Yo. Okay. You said a lot. Okay, cause I'm gonna tell you about me, all right?
Yeah.
My life's goal, right? And this started in, I want to say high school, bro.
Right.
So I thank God I was able to find a wife that's in the same space of me, and it's like we're both working together to try to achieve this big goal. But I've always wanted my own institute, right?
Nice.
And I wanted to teach kids the things that you need to survive, right? Like, of course, credit and relationships and just management, good management and stuff like that. And from the music business, I've seen a lot of adults that's still kids,
Right.
and they never mature and learn the basic necessities for life. Cause you give them a bag, and I got a shirt coming out too. It's like wealth always bigger than the bag, right? So I was like, yo, the fact that we've adopted that, go get a bag, go get a bag, go get a bag, and people that got colleges, we only got. I went to A&T in North Carolina. That's where I graduated from, and we teach the same. It's kind of like a secret poverty concept, and we just keep we disguise it as get a bag or get stacks or get whatever.
Consumerism.
That
Straight up.
That. But that's the reason I started the pod. Like, I was like, okay, I have somewhat of a name in the music business now, and I want to educate artists. Let me just start there. Let me educate them on this is the basic stuff you need to do. And I wanted to start in that middle school, high school age.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they get it, those are the next future business people. And it just recycles over and over. And now everybody's in this healthy mind state of not get a bag, but how is my longevity? How's my family? How are we able to just do the regular stuff? That's the American dream. The American dream stuff. How are we able to do that, but still be in the artsy space?
Yeah. But so, everything that you're saying is so crazy. It's like nationwide, like where you want to be at in that middle and high school, these are becoming mandates across the country for financial literacy.
Yeah.
Right. And then once you mandate something, it's going to be folks like yourself that's going to actually make it palatable, that the kids actually want to gravitate to it and attach to it. Because if somebody's sitting in front of them just saying like, this is the credit card and here's how it just, no one wants
they
that.
Don't want to hear
right?
that.
Right. They want to see like, okay, how does this thing really work in the economy and how do it work for my benefit? Or like, why a credit card versus the debit card? Like, all these things begin to come together. And then what I know, and like when we talk about the wealth gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So white Americans had a really good head start from 1940s, 50s, and 60s because America gave away so much land and
Mm.
qualified them for loans.
Yep.
So just by living the American dream and just paying their mortgage, they
Mm-hmm.
became wealthy.
Right.
Homes went from 50,000 that cost $1 million now.
Exactly.
All they had to do is pay the bill.
And live in the same spot. You good.
That's but see, what I found with in our communities is that we're not owning, we don't understand like a good buy today, 10 years from now, is gonna be a bigger bag than you running around to get 10,000 here and 20,000 here.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that, man, like you are spot on. And like I always tell people, everything that's happening in the hip hop or like in the culture, like right now it's high time for collaboration,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, you know, Balenciaga, Gap, and Yeezy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like those things are really coming together, right? And so now we're seeing like Taco Bell and KFC collab.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to be doing, right? Like this school person, me, need to be collaborating with the entertainment person, you,
Mm-hmm.
and like making that a real thing for young people.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah,
That could go a whole, that's an hour by
yeah,
itself.
yeah. Yeah.
So the push, right? Is it certain cases that's common that comes across your desk as far as the students go or the people that you mentor and are speaking to? Like, is it a common thing that you see?
I mean, as far as it relates to just like this lack of financial literacy or just like overall preparedness for their future life.
I'm gonna take your word because I've been that was a bar. I don't even know if you put it down, but you said I got what you say. We got some good areas and then we got some concerning areas, and you
Right.
didn't use the word bad. I was like I'm gonna have to use that. So when it comes to the students, as far as like overall
Yeah.
overall awareness
Yeah.
for life
Yes.
preparation, is
I
it
got you.
common things that you see that you personally have to attack?
Yes.
Okay.
So with young people, specifically growing up in high impoverished areas, and then right, like what they consume, and not food, but just like their their TV and music and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
it establishes for them a way of being. So
Right.
even the best kids listen to Lil Uzi or listen to Chief Keef or listen to Lil Durk. So right, like so those kids are still like really infatuated with a lifestyle that they're not experiencing,
Mm-hmm.
and they grow up fast. And so yes, so many of the students that I interact with, I would say if I had to give it a percentage, 80% of them
Mm-hmm.
are experiencing adult moments in their teenage years where it's
Mm.
like, now I have to figure out how I'm gonna eat this food.
Okay.
Like my mom ain't gonna get it. And
Right.
then like if she do get it, I can't keep eating this kind of thing every day. I don't want noodles and noodles. Right. So like those are like real instances for young people. And so when you like that, it's survival mode. Now
It
we
is.
looking for like now it's like you're the principal, cool, like that's cool, right? But like how you gonna help me like figure out my life circumstance right now? And
Right.
my job has always been to convince a young person that listen, the work you putting in today is not going to turn a result in your life maybe tomorrow,
Right.
but 3 4 years from now, I'm gonna set you up so powerful that you're gonna be able to come back and give to other people in your neighborhood. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be able to do more about what I'm doing. Those are the kinds of connections that I'm gonna make with young people. And sometimes you got to expose them to who you are so they don't think differently of you.
Right.
Right? Like, nah, man, I grew up the same way.
Yeah.
I ain't judging you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, I figured it out. I'm trying to get you there fast.
Mm-hmm.
That type of stuff, kids want, kids need. And this is why the right people need to be in front of them having those conversations, because when they don't, it's the stories you hear, man. Then you hear, oh, there was a fight at a school, or a kid assaulted a teacher, or You see on the news, a kid punched a teacher in the face, or they had a fight, right? Like, it is a respect thing. So for anybody working with young people, school, no school, after school care program, any of that, treat these young people with respect, man. Don't go believing that you need to tell them what they gotta do. Because
that's what we got, though. You know, that's what we got growing up.
I know, but you know, it's different. It's different because the circumstances are different, man. You don't know how hard it is sometimes just to get from your front porch to the school. Like, I used to have young people not bother nobody, man. Just walking past the building every day. The building is about a block away from the school, and just get robbed. Dang. Every morning they take something. They like, look, we gonna rush. I and team, we got to go over there and say, listen, if y'all rob any more of these children, the cops are gonna sit a car right here. So like, if that's what we're trying to do, keep doing it. Or y'all gotta control the young people that's out here and not choosing school from messing with these children that's trying to do the right thing.
Right.
And you know what, Mills, we got you. Like, all right. That's cool. Like, but that's the kind of stuff, because I always tell the kids, your OG not gonna come sit in front of me and tell me he wants you to continue to do what you're doing.
Nope.
He want better for you. He don't want to do.
Exactly. They never will. They won't.
You know, being able to connect with the culture in the real way, because I've lived it, is I think really what gave me opportunities, specifically in the city of Newark, because I was too relatable to be fake. It was just like, it's no way he know this stuff and could connect with me, and they felt like, oh, and he cool. So it was like, all right, yeah.
So okay, all right. Within the space of that's clearly being some type of a leading figure in the community, right?
Yeah.
Is it well, at least in my brain, right? This how I've seen some of the people I mentor is normally like, if it's any, I'm gonna say 16, 17-year-old kids that's wanting to make beats and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I notice a lot of the times I have to connect with the parent on some level. And I don't meet no strangers. Like, I'm like you. Like, I could go, they rolling up smoking, I could go have a conversation. I could go to corporate America, have the same conversation. We good.
Exactly.
But I noticed that a lot of the times I have to connect with the parent and see where their psyche is as it relates to life before the kid can actually feel comfortable getting home, creating, and not feel bad about, well, I need this part-time job to help pay bills. I need this whatever to, you know, all right, some of them in the street, you know. I gotta do what I do to help provide. Is it any of the cases where you have to get to the parent first before the student?
Listen, man, you hitting the nail on the head, man. Okay. Because a lot of times you've poured into a young person and then they go home, and we got to accept that the parent is always going to be their first love. Mm-hmm. So if they undo everything you said, they only coming back with that thinking. And so one of the things I used to do was called exclusion. So I wouldn't suspend students.
Okay.
If a student got in some serious trouble, I would exclude them until their parent came to meet with me. So that could be the same day, could be the next day, whatever it took. Because I would say, like, I can't keep having a conversation with you about your behavior. You return. I never connect with the mom or the dad or the grandmother or whoever's caring for you to like close the loop. Because the two of us got to be on the same page about your future.
Right.
So yeah, so having those conversations with the parents, and sometimes you have those conversations like, okay, you need help too. Because I get a young man, true story, right? He get caught, he came to school high, he was smoking weed.
Okay.
And we had a clinic downstairs, we tested, we confirmed like he's using. The mother come in while I'm walking to the office. She said, I told you don't do that on the way to school. He's 14. Her mindset is, All right, well,
Don't get caught.
you just don't get caught. Exactly. So
Okay.
it's like, okay, mom, we need to deal with you,
Right.
right? And so I was able to get the both of them some resources to help them get to where they need to be. That young man actually graduated, right? So
Good.
that's a success story. But that might be 1 out of 30.
Okay.
I don't have that story for everybody. Sometimes like it didn't work. The mom or dad didn't get on board, and the young person may have had a whole nother trajectory, maybe even not made it through to the next year.
Mm.
So yeah, man, parents are actually integral for speed,
Okay.
right? Like, I'm mentoring the person, I'm giving them game, and they trying certain things, but nobody's validating them. So it's
Mm.
slow. A parent, when we are on the same page, and the parents validating, like, yeah, listen to what you're talking about. He knows
Right.
that stuff. Just like you start to see how fast a kid grows, just because multiple people that they respect are on the same page. So yeah, I 1,000%, man. You gotta do that. I'm glad to hear you doing that because I'm
Dude.
sure you're experiencing good things because of it.
Well, it was, I can't remember the name of the school, but it was one of those programs where the challenging kids gets pushed to this school and that's where they have to finish. It was
Yeah,
one of those schools I went to talk to, and all the teachers, because I went into it blind. This was years ago. I went into it blind. I didn't know. I was just like, yo, I'm here to bring good energy. We gonna talk about music, whatever. And I see the kids coming in, and some of them like, I'm looking like, yo, you act like you 30 years old, like.
yeah, yeah.
So, but the student, no, the teachers said their saying is, and they didn't say it in front of the students, but they said it to me. They was like, yo, if we don't help these kids, they gonna come in your back door and help theyself.
That's exactly right.
So I was like, oh, it's
Yup.
like that. And she was like, yeah, well, you gotta think we in the city, so it's not the suburbs where these are kids that their parents got good jobs and they just doing some rebellious stuff, but they got a good home to go home to. Like
Right.
some of them, they paying rent
Yup.
in high school. So I was like,
Yup.
okay, I get it. It's a different circumstance.
Yeah.
So
And what you're saying, man, I like that. Like it's amazing that the person that serves those young people understand the consequences of their lack of action,
mm-hmm.
because on a nation scale, like the school to prison pipeline is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And single family home, 2-parent home, money, no money, if these young people exit a system and cannot interpret their world because they can't read the menu at McDonald's, or they can't look at a piece of paper and understand how it harms them or helps them,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta understand that they're going to choose the easiest road to feeling better about themselves. And a
Right.
lot of times that's illegal activities, whether it's boosting, it's scamming, it's,
Mm-hmm.
or like, the drug game, or like they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I always say that to adults, man. Like, you can't be in this profession playing around with young people's lives because you're unhappy. It's like, just go.
Right.
Just go, because your lack of action, man, you better believe later on you'll be watching news saying, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, this is out of control. But not owning the fact
You
that you
contributed.
helped. Yeah, you helped bring it back.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, that's huge, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Man, this could go for a minute. I see we already approaching our time, so I ain't gonna.
You're good.
I got the finger roll like that. I was like, hey, cool. But
Uh,
so I want you to dig on that school to prison
yeah,
pipeline,
yeah.
right? Because I connected the two with another guest, but it was more so music business to prison.
Mm,
And I was telling them about how a lot of the execs, and that's kind of why I take my stance now. Like I got into real estate. It's very few things that music business people could do to hurt anything that I'm doing. So I'm like, it's all open season. It's open season right now. So for me, I was like, okay, I know that there are a lot of music business people that contributed to the prison system and
Yep,
actually help build structures, and
yep,
that's investment like pools for them.
Yep.
They get money from it. Like I don't know how much it is for each prisoner, but it is a dollar amount attached to each prisoner,
This is
right?
correct. Yep.
Just like it can be a dollar amount attached to each student.
There is a dollar amount.
Okay. So if we know that I can help this student, right? And I didn't mean for the whole interview to just be about the student, you know.
Yeah, no, it's all
It's just
good.
what my brain is. So if we know that that's a thing, right? We help the student and we got paid to help this student
Yep.
achieve some level of awareness or success, right? Is it a way that we can make it more attractive um, and glorify education, not only uh, continued education, but like just the K through 12?
Yep.
Is it anything that we could do to kind of make it more attractive to make them want to
Yeah.
just live in it and take it in?
Yeah. So I always say that one of the things that I say, like, my goal is to open so many schools that I begin to close prisons. And,
Mm,
some people take that as, oh, so where do we put the criminals? Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm communicating is, if I build strong young people, right, there'll be a less of a need for prison because they'll be able to function as productive citizens in society.
right,
So if that's happening, then prisons are going to be obsolete, right? And so
right.
what we have to do is really bring the cool back into education. Kids need to begin to understand that the way that I've become the most successful me is to master the language of the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
My ability to write the language of the land, and then my ability to solve problems. And that's where math comes in. Like, math is all about looking at something in a complex way and figuring out the easiest way to do it. That's what Elon Musk is doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Mark Zuckerberg is doing.
Yeah.
That's what they're just saying, like, you know what? These taxes, man, it ain't no, let's make Uber, and then everybody can personalize the size of the car, how many people they want in the car, and then pull right up to your house. They ain't got to put their hand out. They just solving a big problem that no one else was able to solve. That's what billionaires are really doing. So I say all that to say, I'm excited about a lot of what I'm seeing in the culture.
Okay.
Right? Like, so many artists are embracing this concept of being blessed.
Right.
Right? Like praising, the Most High or whoever they subscribe to.
Right.
Right? I'm starting to hear them talk about, the importance of credit and not wasting their money on certain things, or why they're doing it, why they're doing that. And kids pick up on that, man.
Yeah, they do.
Much you may not think they do. So through the whole album, it's like, oh, but I got that too, and I got this too. So that's beginning to be adding the cool factor to education, because you're not always going to interact with the meat,
right,
to connect the dots for you. So if you are not connected, it got to be within you to say, this ain't about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to get this math for real.
Yeah.
I really need to learn how to read for real.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of stuff. I think, and I would say that America is becoming a space where, like, well, it's capitalist society, but younger people are able to gain access to new forms of money,
right,
and new forms of revenue streams. So like this whole NFT, this whole crypto piece, that's the place where a young person could make a good decision and literally break the bank.
Right. And set them up forever.
And so if they connect those dots to, like, if I could just like read the articles to understand how this thing works, or if I could like master the let's say graphic art system, Adobe, like I can really be out here doing it. Or even if I want a YouTube channel, if I could master the editing piece of it, that's all reading, writing, and math. But people got to connect the dots for them, man. And I think that's how we get to a place where young people are getting out of high school ready to do good business.
Okay.
Whether they choose a college or not.
Right.
And if they do, the hope is that it only enhances the skill that they were trying to master anyway. So, you know, my goal is like, you make your choice. I'll tell you what I think is good, but you decide. But we can't leave these grades not being able to read, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yo, okay. So last but not least, I want you to talk about the products that you're offering,
Yep, yep.
anywhere you might be speaking, how can people reach out to you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so right now I got two books on the market. One is a children's book about racial bias, right? So really getting third, fourth, fifth graders acclimated with that conversation. Because whether you think so or not, they hear what's going on and they're making their own interpretations, and you think you're hiding it from them. You're not.
Hmm.
Get the book, get to talking about the conversation. The other book is called The Turnaround. It's for educators and business folks because it's my way to turn an organization around in 180 days. So it talks about the Shabazz story and what we did to get us from the worst school to improve us to double and even triple the literacy test scores in as much as 4 years. So that's out there. And then me, right? Like I'm literally a product in the sense that I'm connecting with folks, I'm coaching folks, I am helping other people do what it is that I've been able to figure out.
Okay.
So you looking to found a school, I can explain how that all works for you. You're
Sweet.
looking to like do some of the things that I've been able to do and solve some of the problems that you may be having in your institution. I can help you with that. And so to find me to do some of that stuff, you can just hit up my Instagram at Principal PAL, Principal is your pal, Mills. And yeah, from there you go down the rabbit hole and we'll figure out how we could all connect, man. I appreciate this.
Yo, I appreciate you, bro. Like,
Thank you, man.
I got some trinkets. I'm sure Tracee gonna probably reach out to you about everything, and I'm gonna reach out to you too in a minute and send you all my info so we
Yeah,
can connect.
yeah.
But I'm looking at right. I'm just now finishing my master class. I was hoping to have it out by May, but May is like tomorrow, so
Right.
it'll probably be closer to June.
Yeah.
But the master class, I'm trying to figure out. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But
Let's blow that.
it's mainly for, like I said, the middle school, high school students. Cause
Yep.
I had one guy, and this last thing, I had one guy reach out to me. I ain't gonna say the label, but a label reached out to him, and he did some paperwork for a song that ended up getting on radio.
Mm.
And he was like, "Yo, Meg, they call me Uncle Nito. Yo,
Right.
how you feel about? You think I should do this pub deal?" I said, "Never do a pub deal unless
Right.
it's a book or something like that, and then it's the pay is different."
Right.
So he was like, "All right," but he from the hood.
Yeah.
He needed the cash.
Yep.
So I said, "Dude, don't do the deal." I said, "I got 2 lawyers. Just go talk to them. I pay them consistently.
Right. Change.
Talk to them and see what you might need to do, and go from there." He still did the deal. They offered him like 30,000 or something like that, right? I said, "Do you realize that record that you did that deal for makes
Million.
500,000 a week?
A week. See?
A week. You
Yep.
you gave these folk 50% of your earnings for nothing, and they making 500,000 a week."
Yep.
He was like, "Ah," I was like, "Just."
That's
But-
what I'm trying to
But if he knew that, okay, if I could park my money in a rental property and get residual income monthly, and I don't really have to worry about the publishing deal, because I told him, I said, "Dude, if you would have waited and not did a pub deal, started your own publishing company, which is $250, your first royalty check, you would have collected like 80,000
just
off
like
your
that.
first royalty check, where you own 100% from now on." He was just like, "Oh," I was like, "We live and we learn, bro."
Exactly. So now you gotta do it again, or you just gonna have that experience like, man, I could have been here and I'm not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm gonna put all of our guest info. He's gonna be at the bottom of the subject. If you're listening on Spotify, I will put it somewhere. We might do an ad for you too. So,
okay.
but I appreciate it, man.
No doubt, man. And anything you need, that's missing that you don't have, that Tracee doesn't have, I'll make sure to get it over to you, and we'll go from there, man. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. I love what you got going on, your mindset of how you approach music, because it's bigger than just you.
Right.
It ain't just about a hit record. It's really about like improving our folks to just be better and do better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. It's been real. Like I see, I think our next guest coming in. So I will holler at you, man.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace. Dr. Mills. The one, the only, the one, the only. So I want to make sure that y'all follow all of his info. It's going to be at the bottom of the screen. And until next week, peace.